You, Cynthia, 8:05 in the morning. Please welcome my new friend, Jason Gerardo from One Path Coaching to the program. Jason, good morning.
Good morning, John. How you doing?
I'll tell you what, I am doing great. I appreciate your service. I know that you served in the U.S. Marine Corps as we celebrate the 248th birthday of the Marine Corps today. Calling in from Winters this morning, right? Is that where you and your wife are?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Winters, California. Well, we love you folks out there. And for people who are not aware already, Jason, can you describe a little bit about what One Path Coaching is and how it serves veterans in the community in general?
Thank you so much. Yeah, first I have to just back up and say happy birthday to all my fellow jarheads out there. Marine Corps birthday today, 248th year. It is a family. You know, they say once a Marine, always a Marine, and that is true. It's a family that stays through that. Semper Fi to all my devil dogs out there. A quick side note, it's also my birthday today, so that meant that when I was in the Marine Corps, I got a steak dinner.
I love it. Happy birthday, Jason.
Thank you. So the Marines like to celebrate their birthday, so that meant that every year, no matter where I was at, even when I was in the desert, in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, I got a steak dinner for my birthday. So quick little side note.
Nice.
But yeah, so my company is One Path Coaching. My name is Jason Gerardo, as you said. I'm a master practitioner in neurolinguistics, so NLP, hypnosis, and timeline therapy. I've got some other modalities that I use as well, stuff that I found that works well with those to help people with their mental health. My whole goal is to really help people to overcome the limitations and find fulfillment and create positive change in their lives so they can thrive and live a life of purpose. And I think that's the challenge with mental health sometimes, that keeps you from achieving that and living your purpose. One of the things about veteran mental health is a lot of times dealing with PTSD or trauma, and that can lead to depression. You know, the last thing I saw said about 40% of veterans struggle with mental health, and the average in the U.S. right now for everybody is about 26%. So a very elevated number for veterans. You know, I tell people that sometimes, and veterans, we're tough on ourselves. You know, oh, I didn't see as much action as this person, or I didn't do this, or I didn't deploy where this person did, whatever. And, you know, just from day one, being in the military is tough. It's a challenging thing, and it's, you know, much respect goes out to everyone that decides to serve their country in whatever branch they go into. You know, it's a challenging thing. And you come through it and you spend your time, whether that's 30 years or 3 or 4 years, and you come out, and then you have to acclimatize back to a community that it's, you know, there's challenges to get back in the community. You know, we have a dark sense of humor in the military. And I saw a thing the other day on the internet that someone was talking about. It was like a little skit, and it was like a first sergeant was doing a reintroduction to civilian life class. And he's like, yeah, before we release you animals back to the wild. And someone was like, what do you mean? And he's like, listen, I've seen how you act. You're an animal, you know? And that's just part of our dark humor. We like to joke with each other. But at the same time, it's a coping mechanism. You know, it's something that we do. And what I like to do is help people find them where they're at. You know, not try to be, well, you should be this or you should be that, but really just, you know, what is your mental health today and what does it look like? A lot of things that we have in our mental health that are slowing us down or backing us up in life comes from how we imagined our past. You know, they say that we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and 47% of them are of other things than what's happening immediately and right now. So you're not thinking about the present. Almost half of your thoughts every day is either ruminating about the past or worrying about the future. And what the work that I do is help you to get rid of that ruminating about the past, letting that go. You know, how we code our memories is how they show up for us. So if you have a really vivid memory of something that happened in the past that was traumatic, it's going to continue to be traumatic. And I help them, you know, with NLP, we use the language of the mind, and that means how we code things in our brain. And we don't have time to get into all that, but basically, I help people to now see that as not as impactful, to take the power, to depotentiate that past memory so it doesn't show up the same way it did for them.
Right. And Jason, really one of the things that you stressed, and we've talked about it off mic a little bit, is the different modalities, the different ways you can approach mental health and getting mental health up to par. Not only treating individual people, but making it easier to ask for that treatment, right? Destigmatizing the idea of saying, listen, I may have come from a very dark place. I want to get back into a lighter place. I want to move forward. How do I do that? And you give people options to get to that space.
Yeah, and that's a great point. You know, it's not one thing, one size fits all. You know, that's why I know that your background, you're a therapist. my background is in NLP, and also I also deal with meditation and mindfulness. And that's another modality that we found, that getting out in nature helps people. Just simply taking a walk in nature. There's CBT, there's a lot of different modalities, and that's the key, is that the first point is, and I love that you mentioned stigma, removing that. These conversations, thank you so much for having me on, because these conversations can help that.
Absolutely.
The more we talk about it, the more we get it out there, people can feel more comfortable and free about, hey, it takes strength to ask for help.
Absolutely. So well put. Yep. And I figure for people who want to get connected with you, Jason, what's the best way for people to learn more about One Path Coaching and some of the services that you offer veterans?
The best way is if you just go to my website, onepathcoaching.com, all words, all spelled out. And on there, I'm really active on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram. I have some Facebook pages on there. And they can reach out there and reach out to me. Or you could just directly email me, onepathcoaching@gmail.com. I love to talk with folks and have that communication.
I sure appreciate you, Jason Giraudo. Thank you again for all the work you're doing. Happy birthday, my friend. Happy Veterans Day. And happy birthday to the U.S. Marine Corps.